So, what is your greatest need right now to the election? I mean, we're 45 days out from ballots. I mean, it's happening very quickly. What is your greatest need?
It's money, it's resources. As you know, Josh Shapiro is extremely well funded. The Democrats are very shrewd. They do see Pennsylvania as the keystone state, which we are. And I do believe if we get it right on November 8th, which we will, we could turn the tide of the country. And that's just not hyperbole, or somebody who really believes in their state. I do believe, since Pennsylvania is rooted so much in our history, the frame of government that we had in 1787 during the Constitution Convention came from William Penn in 1682 when he founded the colony of Pennsylvania. And so, of course, we have the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution, Gettysburg, A New Birth of Freedom, even 9/11, Flight 93 out west in Somerset County. And so I ask people to please donate and be generous, because this, if we get it right, we could turn the tide in our country.
Yeah, there's been a lot of questions about the kind of tension between the states and the federal government and kind of balancing that. Pennsylvania is kind of just been all along with the Biden regime. Biden pretends he's from Pennsylvania. It's a total joke. And yet, people in Pennsylvania are suffering. What issues in particular are you willing to stand up to Joe Biden on as governor of Pennsylvania?
Any of the constitutional rights that are delineated, obviously, if he's going to send his guns into our towns here to take away people's Second Amendments. Actually, Charlie, much of what I'm saying, since I'm a senator, I actually have legislation here that would prevent the state government and state agencies from cooperating with the federal government. So we need to draw a line. That shutdown 2 years ago was very eye-opening. It showed us how important a governor is. And we had governors like in Pennsylvania and California, New York, wielding their power for evil and for bad and for oppression and stripping of our rights. And meanwhile, South Dakota and especially Florida and Texas, they showed us what a governor can do standing in the way of federal overreach. And so my goal is basically to restore the freedom. So defend your rights to speak your mind, that you won't be a domestic terrorist or targeted by law enforcement because you have a strong opinion. As we saw in Loudoun County, when a dad of a young lady that was raped, the school board covered it up and he was hauled out and arrested. Are you freaking kidding me? That'll never happen. And one other thing here, in this culture that Wolf and Shapiro have created in Pennsylvania, they've demonized our law enforcement officials. So obviously I'll have their backs. But the whole goal here is to borrow from Reagan, get the government off our backs and out of our wallets. So that's how we start with that. My first 100 days is to strip Pennsylvania of state regulations. We're one of the heaviest regulated states in the nation. We have 153,000 regulations. That costs us everything. My goal is the first 100 days to get underneath 100,000, and then I'll be signing that piece of legislation into law, inspired by Donald Trump, but it does exist in our state house and Senate, that every new regulation too have to go away. So in every regard, I'll be pushing back the bureaucracy and putting the power back in people's hands.